So when it was announced that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio would be visiting the Caribbean and that Jamaica and Guyana would have been two of the stops that the Secretary of State would make in the Caribbean, I knew that this was going to happen. So there's no surprise here that in the comment section, in the videos of Secretary of State Marco Rubio visit to Jamaica and to Guyana, that people are accusing the two nations of selling out, of not being united when it comes on to CARICOM. But is that a fair assessment? Did the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, sell out the people of Jamaica? And did the President of Guyana, Irfan Ali, sell out the people of Guyana and betray the Caribbean? Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about Jamaica first. So as a Jamaican citizen myself, I don't think that this would be a fair assessment for people who are thinking that, look, the Andrew Holness administration sold out the Jamaican people and CARICOM. And the reason why I'm saying this, yes, Jamaica is a part of CARICOM, and all the other islands that are part of CARICOM were a part of this organization, but still the Jamaican government has a responsibility to secure the best interests of Jamaican people. So is Guyana and the other islands. Yes, there are things that we do under CARICOM that will benefit us in the Caribbean in general, but I believe when it comes on to looking out for the best interests of Jamaicans, I believe that this is what the Prime Minister of Jamaica is doing. And for people who had a problem with the Prime Minister not coming out boldly early out, the same way we saw the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Prime Minister of Barbados, Jamaica, the Prime Minister of Jamaica would remember the history of Jamaica, would remember the 80s, what happened when the Michael Manley administration stood up to the American government and the penalty that the Jamaican people paid because of Michael Manley standing up to the American government. And if you were around in the 70s and the 80s, like as someone that was around in the 80s and remember that the 80s in Jamaica was a tough time in Jamaica. In Jamaica in the early 80s, there was a thing because of shortage of food, because of what Michael Manley did. There was a shortage of food in Jamaica, food that we normally get in from America. And there was a process back in the 80s where when you go to the corner shop in Jamaica and say, for example, you're going to purchase rice, you could not purchase rice by itself. You'd have to purchase rice with another item. And they used to call that marrying the food. The food had to be married. Like you can't purchase one American product by itself. You'd have to purchase two. And for those who are old enough, they would remember those days back in the 80s. And to add to that, we also had the Gilbert hurricane back in the 80s, which further devastated Jamaica. So we went through a tough period in the 80s. And I think the Prime Minister would remember that and would have to be careful of how they deal with the US government. So I don't believe that this is selling out. I believe that the Prime Minister is just walking a tightrope and have to be careful how they deal with this US administration, because I believe that a lot of Jamaicans feel that nobody's going to be there for them, for Jamaica, if there is some repercussion, if there is like a travel advisory, if there is like freeze on remittance coming to Jamaica, that people are not going to be there for Jamaica. And I think a lot of people feel that way because back in the 80s, when Jamaica was one of the first Caribbean island that started losing traveling privilege in terms of we had visa restrictions on Jamaicans way before any other Caribbean island, where we could not go to England, we could not go to Canada, and it was like very difficult to get to America. So, there's nothing from this press conference that would tell me that the Prime Minister sold out. And the main issue of the day was the Cuban medical program. And as the Prime Minister stated, is that they are in line with international labor standard and that all the reports that came out about the Cuban government being paid and the Cuban doctors not being paid, those were false. And nowhere in the press conference did the Prime Minister say, look, we are going to walk away from the Cuban doctors. So I know that is just what's reported now. We don't know what's going to happen next week, if there's going to be any report coming out that, okay, the leadership, the Prime Minister, the Foreign Affairs Minister, and the Health Minister decide that they're going to move away. But until then, I believe that there was no indication in this meeting between America and the Jamaican official that Jamaica sold out. But sound off in the comment section. You might feel different. Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. And next I want to talk about Guyana, because the same thing was said about President Ali of Guyana. Did President Ali sell out the people of Guyana and CARICOM? Here at Carib 21, I'm on a mission to showcase the vibrant culture and the breathtaking beauty of the Caribbean while showcasing our culture and what is trending. If you want to support me on this mission, please subscribe. And if you also want to support, you can hit the comment section and buy me a cup of coffee. In order to buy me a cup of coffee, you can follow these instructions. Just click more. You will see the link to buy me a cup of coffee. Click the link. You can purchase 1 or 2 cups of coffee and you'll be helping me to fulfill this mission. Thank you. Okay, so when it comes on to President Ali and Guyana and the meeting between Marco Rubio and the president, I feel the same way that I feel about the meeting in Jamaica. I believe that this was a reasonable meeting. I did not see anywhere in that meeting where anyone can legitimately say the president sold out CARICOM or sold out the people of Guyana, because the facts are there. Like Guyana and Exxon, that partnership is a big deal. And we know the conflict that is going on in Guyana with Venezuela as it pertains to the Essequibo region. That has been ongoing for decades. And it is so unfortunate because Venezuela and the Caribbean, we have always had a good relationship in terms of the relationship between Jamaica, the relationship between Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, and other Caribbean islands, where Caribbean islands would benefit from reasonable oil prices coming from Venezuela. So it is just unfortunate that this could cause a conflict, what is going on in Guyana and in Venezuela. And I don't think you can blame President Ali, because President Ali is in no shape or form. There's no way that they can stand up against Venezuela. Venezuela military is mighty compared to Guyana. So President Ali stating that, look, having a friend in America that will be there to protect them, I believe that is a reasonable statement from the president. I don't think the president is naive to think that the relationship between America and Guyana is going to be a win-win relationship. Never in the history of any relationship in the Caribbean is ever a win-win. It's always America's first. America is always first in any of these dealings with the Caribbean region, and that is just the reality. The thing is that Donald Trump is the only one that is, I guess, brave enough to say it, but I can't recall any relationship between the Caribbean, any Caribbean islands and America, that it was a win-win situation for both the Caribbean and for the United States of America. It's always America first. So I don't see anything in that press conference that say, look, President Ali sold out. He also brought up when it comes on to shipping in the Chinese freight coming into the Caribbean, and Donald Trump talks about tariff. He brought that up. That was a very, people would say, controversial thing, and he did not back down from it. He brought it up and said, look, this tariff will devastate the Caribbean region because a lot of things come from China to the Caribbean, and if we have to pay like a 25% tariff on top of what we're paying in the Caribbean now, it is not going to be good for the Caribbean. He brought that up. Marco Rubio addressed it and said, look, that is not my portfolio, but I I'm willing to take it back to the Trump administration to say, like, look, what can you do about this? Because this would devastate the Caribbean. So based on everything that happened in the meeting in Jamaica, in the meeting in Guyana, I don't see where this is like Guyana and Jamaica selling out. But people can think different. And if you think different, that's up to you. You have your right to think the way you want to think. I have the right to the way I want to think. But sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the President of Guyana, they sold out CARICOM? Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.